What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MikeTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Dandelion. Things are still being submitted for my consideration, and I am considering. I'm mulling it over. I'm sitting and pondering. Actually, this one, I really did do that because it was submitted to me through IFC's FYC package where it did not have audio description. I actually started to watch it and I realized it was kind of my vibe and I wanted to see if the film had audio description, so I rented it. I paid for a movie that they submitted to me for free because they won't submit accessibility with screeners. That's my life. But it's a movie about a singer-songwriter played by Kiki Lane who sort of navigates the struggles of whether or not she wants to live in this gig musician economy for the rest of her life. She's got a sort of she has a mother that is sick and she's trying to help her and support her, but at the same time she does just kind of play gigs. She performs certain nights, certain places, uh, and but she's very happy that she gets to work on music no matter where it is. And I know so many people like this. I know so many people like this in real life. This is like my real life. Is like I know so many people who do this, and the struggle is real. And especially when you hit her age, what she's talking about, I was like, man, this is written by somebody who probably was a musician and then was like, you know what, I want to be a filmmaker, uh, because it's really hard, and especially when you want stability. Because like she brings up, she's like, unless they're gonna start giving insurance to gig workers, it's like, I mean, you're right. I mean, there's so many things that people do to try to, they go back and they get their education so that way they can teach, so that way they can get in places, so they can be musicians, but they can also teach at, K through 12 schools, or if they have a high enough education, they can teach in a college. They can do private lessons at a college, they can teach classes, whatever. And then on the side, they can go pursue their music, but it gives them stability. Other people just give up. I know so many real estate agents that can sing really well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know so many, and it's because they're really comfortable being on stage. It's that stage presence that they've gained from years of performing that allows them to be able to walk into a situation, be very presentational in a home. It kind of makes sense. I also know a lot of uh, flight attendants. Uh, it's like a weird segue. Go get your go start being a musician, and then when it doesn't work out, either become a flight attendant or a real estate agent. Or if you're lucky enough to be able to stick with it and find your way back into school, shore up your education so that way you can stay sort of in music, and that's how you get your stability, is through that. It's never necessarily like the best. Not everybody can be a pop star, but I know plenty of people who work full-time musician and have aged past the age of this girl. But this does seem to be the age range where a lot of people go, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Do I want to be doing this? What's my momentum? What am I doing? She's looking at her followers online, and she's seeing, girls licking their guitars for likes, and it's just like, she just wants to be taken seriously for her music. I really love the music that was in here. Um, she sort of goes off and explores and has a little bit of an artistic endeavor that's sort of just for her, where she meets this guy and they hook up for a little while. And it kind of gives her perspective. And then she sort of has a nice sort of ending to the movie. I don't want to spoil, but I mean, she's at a different place at the end that she is in the beginning, and ready to make a choice for her life. So I thought the movie was really good because it's true, because I can relate to this so much, which is why when I started watching the first time, I started to pick up on its vibe. I stopped watching it and I was like, no, I'm not going to ruin this. And then I went and found audio description and came back to watch Dandelion. Now, what I would say is this movie's long. It does not need to be this long. It's pushing 2 hours. It does not have enough ideas to push 2 hours. It does feel like it's stretching. It feels like we're sitting far too long in her life, in the moments, in pondering and in thoughts, and it just kind of becomes a wandering film instead of a film about finding yourself within like a reasonable period of time. Like, cool, we can go on the journey for you, but at a certain point, there's like a limit to our patience as an audience, which is a really weird thing to say, but it's true. Like everything sort of has a general momentum to it, and this one kind of overstays its momentum. It doesn't have enough momentum to sustain the runtime to where I felt like, even though as much as I was enjoying the vibe of the movie, like what this movie was saying, as the movie was progressing, I was like, is it going to be over soon? Like, I kept wanting it to wrap up, and it just kind of kept sitting. I wasn't as interested in her relationship with this guy as the film wanted me to be. So that was part of it, is that I thought the movie was far more about her. I was like, well, maybe she's going to find that she wants to be a mother. And then that'll be the parallel, because she has this weird relationship with her mother right now. And that'll change her. And that didn't happen. And it's just kind of like, well, why am I here? I mean, there are some parts of it. So it's not a perfect film, but I liked what it was doing. And I can attest to the fact that I know a lot of people like Dandelion. So like, like this character, Kiki Lane, is a bright spot in this, and I hope she goes on to do a lot of great things. I wish she could get more Breakthrough Performer awards, but I don't think anybody saw Dandelion. In order to break through, people have to actually notice that you broke through. If you enter an empty room, even if you're the first person to enter it, people don't notice. I feel like that's kind of what happened to her. So this is why I wish critics would actually sit down and look at all of the FYC packages as much as I'm trying to do, which is because you'll find little gems, and I think Kiki is an interesting little choice. I like Dandelion, and I think if you like music type of films, especially when I saw like the films, when you do a little bit of research, and I know it's like, if you like this, you'll like this, and I was like, oh, I did like those movies. So yeah, I think this is currently floating around. It's been out for a while, so it's IFC's pushing it around. It's probably on AMC Plus. It'll probably be on Hulu soon if it's not already, because IFC films usually port to Hulu after they've been on AMC Plus for a while. So just finding it with audio description, that's going to be your struggle. But I would recommend Dandelion. It's not a perfect film, but it's a nice one. It's just a little bit long. I would have cut maybe 10 minutes. Just pace it better. But I really like the story, loved the characters, and I thought the acting was strong. And I loved the little singer-songwriter music throughout the whole thing. While none of it is necessarily like, oh my god, song of the year, it was all like a soundtrack. It felt like somebody's EP that I would buy and just put it and listen to. It's just very easy music, coffee house music. Anyway, I'm gonna give Dandelion a B+. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.